Looking for a place for the whole family? Come down to the Toucan Mall in Amelia's Ward, Linden. It's the mall that has it all. We have great food, a relaxing atmosphere, and activities for all ages: tennis, swimming, and a playground. But the fun doesn't stop after dark. There's even a bar and an arcade. And if you aren't ready to go home yet, we've even got a spacious room for your comfort, complete with air conditioning, Wi Fi, and a private bathroom. The Toucan Mall can also facilitate your event in our spacious conference hall. We also have a theater with films for the entire family. It's the Toucan Mall located in Amelia's Ward, Linden.
Okay, a very good evening to all of my friends and family and well-wishers. Welcome to our program once again. And this is your health and healing with Dr. Haynes and Haynes.
Mhm.
Now, we had planned previously that we would have closed out our Cancer Awareness Month with a formula to help with uh, getting rid of the parasites. I haven't forgotten that. However, I want to at least give you some more time because we have the formula. We're going to give it out, but because this program is not uh, it's not a call-in program per se. I just had something that is giving me some trouble, some nuts. You don't eat nuts before your program. Yeah, before because this is not a pretty much a live call-in program, and I have to mention this before we go on. We've had uh, a couple of weeks where the equipment was down because of severe lightning and storms and so on, and we could not air program live, nor could we have received calls because the equipment was damaged. Since then, the equipment it was repaired, and hopefully we will be able to on our next program take some calls and give you an opportunity. Actually, actually, the calls were taken, the calls were made, and I have to apologize that the calls went to the office. The calls did not come through the studio. The calls went to the office, and we we are so sorry that that happened, but we're going to fix that. It's been corrected, and we are going to be ready on our next live program. Hopefully next week, we should be able to have the calls made directly to us, and we can answer your questions. So don't throw the questions away. Keep them close by. Keep them so that next week promises that once we're on the air, you're going to have a live calling program, and it's going to be directed to myself and Dr. Richard. If Dr. Richards is there, I had to really squeeze him to come here today because it was not really planned, and he had his work to do, and I asked him to just hang in there with me so we can get this done for you. Because we didn't want to give you another rerun, as we call them. We wanted to give you something that was fresh, something that you would be able to continue to learn from, and not say, this is another program we saw already. But here, see this one. This is a new one.
Mhm.
Don't think don't think that this is an old one. This is a brand new one. This is one that is put together just for you because we don't want you to get an old one, right? So, Dr. Richard, welcome to our program once again, and I want you to maybe just say a few things.
Oh,
That
thank
from
you.
you.
Thank you for the invite again, and thank you for welcoming me into your homes again. And I just wanted to, just say to you that I know we were talking about cancer, and it's a real. When you hear cancer, it sounds like it's really, really, it's a death sentence. But I want to tell you a true story, and I like stories because they they say a lot. In the 19th century, the death caused you know, people who died mostly in the 1970s from tuberculosis, and that was, you know, when you heard that somebody had tuberculosis, that was a death sentence. There's a man who his name was Galen Clark. He went to Yosemite Valley in Nevada to die. Why? Because he was told that he had end stage tuberculosis. At that time, he was 42 years of age, and this was in 1856. So his doctor told him, "Look, you know, I'm just giving you some information. I want you to understand that when you start coughing, because you're going to be coughing, when you start coughing up your lungs, pieces of your lungs, then you know that you may die. It may take you about 2 to 6 months to die. You know, that's the time that you will have to live. So just get yourself together. Just prepare. Because there's no cure for tuberculosis, and this disease, it'll kill you." So what did he do? He went and said, "Well, if I'm going to die, let me go to Yosemite Valley because I want to die and I want to experience the view and it's a beautiful place. Let me go to a place where I can enjoy my life." So what did he do? He went there, and then he went to Yosemite Valley. It was a very beautiful place. He was very happy that he was there, and because he was there and he was very happy, and we know that when you get happy, there's some the chemicals called endorphins. Those kicked in, and he felt supercharged because he was in a place where he wanted to be. And when you have endorphins increase in your body, that slows down the cancer. The next thing he did was he said, "Well, I'm going to die. Let me carve out my tombstone. I can write my name, and I can do all that, get everything prepared." So he got a tombstone. He got you know uh, a stone and carved his name out. And then he said, "Well, I got the tombstone, so let me do the next thing. Let me dig the grave." So he dug the grave and he had it there. But while he was doing all of this in Yosemite Valley, they were growing, that's natural things were growing. So he was eating the natural herbs and the vegetations that were there, the vegetables and the fruits, and everything was clean. There was no sugar and there was no dairy products. He was just eating everything that was there. Then he began doing what he wanted to do. He began to hike and he began to create trails and he began to do everything he wanted to do. And then after a while, 54 years later, on his 96th birthday, he was still around. So, cancer, like every other disease, it's a state of mind. You know, it's a state of mind. And it's not as bad as you think. You know, the first thing to do is just get a good framework, mental framework. Get yourself together. He was told he was going to die, and then 96 years later, he was still alive.
He's celebrating his 96th birthday.
Huh?
He's celebrating his 96th birthday.
96th birthday. You know.
And he
So
had 6 months.
what does that say to us? That he went to a place where he was able to eat healthy, get fresh air, sunshine. He was able to do the things that he loved to do, exercise, you know, and basically he had a new start. I mean, just going to a different location, and it's quite fitting, new start, nutrition. His nutrition was different. He got exercise, exercise, drank a lot of water, water, got a lot of sunshine, right? He had a lot of temperance. You didn't eat the sugar and the cheese, and he wasn't even anywhere close where you can have those. So that's temperance. The A is the air, and the R is rest, and the T part, he trust in God. He was really religious, you know. So it's just fit for anyone who is put on the. And I say it's a death sentence because I mean, just like because that's what comes to your mind. We're human beings. when you hear things like cancer, you can hear things like, AIDS and all these different things that people are dying from. You know, even at one time earlier in 2020, Corona. When you heard Corona, people were like, you know, they're going to die because of what we were told. But it's just a perspective. A perspective. Just wanted to share that.
That was very interesting. He was able to celebrate 96 his 96th birthday after giving 6 months to,
Yeah,
to end his life.
and his life. You know.
That is what happens to many persons. I totally agree with you, and I teach it quite often that healing first begins in the mind.
Yeah.
Many persons are defeated because they're mentally defeated.
Mm-hmm.
Many persons are sick because they're mentally ill. They're not physically ill, but because they're mentally ill, it manifests itself on created conditions that would cause them to become physically ill. And that is what we talk about stress factors.
Mm-hmm.
Many persons, I'm so stressed out. Oh, doc, this stress is killing me. Well, of course it is. If you say it's the stress is killing you, it's going to kill you because if you're stressed out, whatever it is that stresses you out, you need to do something about fixing that. Because no one has ever been able to show me stress. I've asked that all the time. All the great people out there says, show me stress. They can't show me stress. They can show me what stress may have caused,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't show me stress. So what does that tell you? If you can't show if you can't put stress in front of me, it means that it's in your head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's something that happened, but you're taking it on. You're worrying about it. You're frustrated. You're angry. You're disappointed. You're whatever it is, and that is taking a toll on you because mentally you're affected. You see, so many persons, the first thing they need to do, very first thing they need to do, is believe that they can become better.
Oh yeah, true.
Believe that you can be better. Many persons are given the death sentence and will die because they believe what they were told. They never came out of that and fought for their lives. They never came out of that and looked at another perspective. They never tried an alternative manner, an alternative method to see if what I'm being told can be changed with trying something else. They probably never even drink more water. If you think of the fact that many persons who die, think of it. One of the first things they start doing is they stop eating.
Yeah.
They stop eating.
Mm-hmm.
If you stop eating, you're going to be nutritionally starved.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're putting yourself in the death mode
Mm-hmm.
because you're cutting off your supply of fuel.
Mm-hmm.
You stop eating. So when you stop eating, guess what happens? The whole body system begins to shut down.
Yeah.
You actually created the conditions that suits death.
Yeah, because you're so concerned and worried about the information that you get and the news that you get that you lose your appetite.
Yep.
You know, and then
Yep.
you replay everything in your mind. I mean, all the things you're gonna miss your family. You're gonna all the things you never get to do in your life.
You begin to bring closure to everything.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And you lose your appetite. You don't have no desire for food, no desire to do anything. You know.
And then the next thing you do, because I've watched our aunt, one of our aunts who died. I watched her die,
Wow.
and the first thing that happened, she stopped eating.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing that began to happen to her is that she went into a sleep. She started sleeping longer. And when she come out of the sleep, she would act like if nothing happened.
Mm.
We said she's traveling.
Oh.
She's communicating with the other side.
Mm.
When she comes out of that sleep, because I watched it, she was hungry. She says, "Can you get me something to eat? Can you, I'm hungry." And then when you give her something to eat, she takes a little bit, just a little bit. So I'm saying to myself when I'm looking at this, I'm saying, wherever she went or wherever she goes, they're encouraging her, you better get back out there and eat something. You better get back and eat something out there because if you don't eat, you're gonna go. You know, I'm thinking in my mind, right? That
Mm,
wherever she goes in her mind, she's being told to come out to get out there and eat because as soon as she come out of it, she say, "I'm hungry. Get me something to eat."
mm,
And then when you give her something to eat, she eats just a little bit of it. And then
mm.
she would, talk about a little bit. You look like nothing happened, and she goes back into the game. So if you do not create the environment to come out of the death mode, chances are you're gonna go.
Yeah, you know,
When you,
it's it's just the mind, the mind. And we human beings, not two persons getting the same news, the effects are different,
yeah,
Some
yeah,
person may, take it very, very badly, and the other person may say, "Oh, okay, well, I know what I got to do." So your attitude and how you accept, bad news because that's what it is.
yeah.
Some
It,
people,
it's it's sad news. It,
yeah, it's
it's it's
sad.
it's
It
the
tells
it's
you,
it's the end game basically.
right. It tells you and gets you to know that, you're mortal and your time is almost up.
Yeah,
Get your house in order. And, nobody wants to hear that, you know. And, some people go in, because of what it is, they feel better sleeping because when you're asleep, you disengage from the
you forget
realities.
everything. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. It's really, I spent some time one time a long time ago talking about the debt situation
Mm,
because I witness it so many times. I see it happen to people. It's a it's a it's a really strange phenomenon. And besides that, I had my own experiences with that,
mm,
and it's something that it depends on. I guess it depends on your state of mind. It could look as though it's something beautiful.
mm.
It could look as it's something that's peaceful, and it could look as something as though it's really disgusting.
Mm,
Sometimes I wonder about sudden death. For instance, someone who is going about their business normally, and all of a sudden, boom, a car comes and hit them, and they die right there.
mm,
I wonder, but this might be a strong person, never sick, nothing happened to them,
right.
no high blood pressure, diabetes, nothing, and they just going about their business. All of a sudden, boom, something comes and wipes them out and takes them away.
Mm-hmm,
That is what we call sudden death. There
mm-hmm,
was no suffering there, hopefully, because we don't know what the
right.
person would have gone through in the last moments.
Mm-hmm,
Some people die, and and I think they don't even know they died. They don't know they went. They just
yeah.
there was no um, no preparation. Like the person who dies over a period of time,
Mm,
they have some time to preparation and to put things in place and sign whatever documents and turn
right.
over whatever
Right.
riches, all of
Right.
that sort of thing. But some people don't have that chance.
No, I mean, you have an opportunity if you are aware that you're going to die. You have, I mean, that is not too many people have that opportunity. You know,
Yeah,
some people go to sleep and don't even wake up the next day. You didn't know you're not going to wake up.
yeah, yeah, exactly,
But if you
exactly.
have, you have, an illness and they tell you you're going to die, then you have time to prepare. And sometimes it works in a way that you do all the things that you do, and it never materializes. You still like,
Yeah, like the guy in the fields.
yeah,
Well, I think that the average person with cancer needs to not give up.
right,
Don't give up.
yeah,
Try and find ways and means of fighting off the cancer. Try and find ways and means of doing things like getting more sunshine,
hmm,
getting out there, eating more vegetables. Look at the guy, go out there and prove to the world that it's not time for you as yet, because it might not be.
yeah.
Might
Go,
not be.
go and live, because uh, you know the thing is, another doctor mentioned something. He did a biopsy patient, and then he had bad news. It was cancer. So he went and spoke to the patient, went to her room, and he didn't have good news. So he went and told her, well, you know what, you know, I have some bad news. It's cancer. But she did not react the way he expected. What she did at the time, she said, well, doctor, do you mind if we pray? And he said, well, no, I don't mind. We can pray. And she held his hand and she said this simple prayer: Lord, just do it one more time. Amen. She said, Doctor, I'm a 6-year survivor of cancer. you know. So, it has to do, I think, a lot with your faith and what you believe and, what you put in your mind.
Yeah.
The Bible says, by beholding, we become changed. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So she survived, and this is true. This was the 7th time that she survived. She had news of cancer. So her simple prayer was, Lord, do it one more time.
One more time. Whatever you did, do it one more time.
You know.
It's a simple prayer that could go a long way.
Yeah.
Before all of that, though, we are seeing some in our screening and our work. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, Dr. Richard is my brother, and he's a medical doctor, and he's now practicing alternative medicine, and he's screening and treating and helping people, and people are so happy. You don't know the people who come out of the office and they rejoice because they see a different face. They got tired of seeing my old face. They're seeing a different face, they hear a different voice, and you're giving them hope. I always knew that you would be a physician who would give people hope and encouragement and help them to realize that it's not the end. I always knew that. I knew it. I knew it was in you all the time. It's just that you you chose the path that you did, and then finally you realize that, look, you know what? Maybe this is it. This is my call, and this is the time, and you're doing it. And people are happy when they come out. They're smiling. They're happy, and they feel good. But before all of that cancer stuff that we talked about, people need to pay more attention to their dietary habits.
Mm. Yeah.
They need to pay more attention to the dietary intake of food. I don't think people realize how important it is to allow your foods to be like your medicines.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, when you eat those foods, they must nourish you, they must nutrify you, they must give you the vitamins and the minerals and the amino acids and the trace minerals and help you to regenerate those cells.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they realize the importance of food in their health, even in the cancer fighting stages. We've heard people say things like, "Oh, doc, what am I going to eat? There's nothing else for me to eat." These are all things that they're saying because we found that these foods and substances are contributing to their diseases.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not us that is pointing it out, it is the body itself that is saying to the person, avoid these things for now because these are foods that provoke your condition more. These are foods and beverages that makes your condition worse. We are not the ones that are deciding that. All we're doing is getting into the body system, getting into your DNA, getting into your cells, and seeing what is happening to you. And you're seeing it yourself. And then your body is saying, in order for you to overcome these problems, this is what you have to do. I'll tell you something that happened to a patient of mine just the other day. She has fibroids, and many, many, many women fibroids. A lot of women. And she didn't want to go the route of surgery. So she chose us to help her to battle this fibroid situation. It's
Mm,
not all successful, but most people overcome it. When she came and I got her permission, we don't know who she is either, so we're just talking. When she came, she was very distraught. Like, I'm told that I have to get surgery because this thing is so big. It's not, I don't, it's not going to go away, whatever. So I said, look, it might be. And the doctor who told you that may be correct. We believe that you can overcome it without the surgery. She said, I think so. I said, I don't want you to think. I want you to understand that if you're going to go this route, that you have to believe that you can do it. And she said, okay, I do believe. Maybe she did or not, I don't know. Well, the first month, when she, this is a young person,
mm,
when she had her menstruation after being on the medicines for about 20 years, she called me. She said, Dr. Haynes, I'm dying. I said, what do you mean you're dying? She says, I can't take the pain. There's so much pain. I can't take the pain. I'm having my period and the pain is so severe, I can't take it. I'm
mm,
going mad. I want to die. I said, no, you're not going to die. Remember, I warned you. I said, your body is going to go through changes. If you're going to try to overcome this, you're going to have to bear some pain because this is a monster that you're trying to pass out. And it's going to take time. It's got to be broken up. It can't come out the way it is unless you're going to abort it because it's big. You can't deliver it. It has to come out somehow and you got to break it up. But I'm not able with this pain. Just bear it. Just get something to take for the pain and eventually it will ease, whatever. So a couple of days later, I said, you call me and keep me posted. A couple of days later, she called me back. I said, how you doing? She said, I'm much better. The pain is much better. It's eased. I'm still having a little bit, but it's just, well, tell me what happened to you when you had that serious pain. She says,
mm.
doctor, when I passed this thing out, I can't believe it came out of me.
Oh,
Yeah. It was black and it was green and it was all kind of colors and it was, I said, why didn't you examine it? She says, nah, I couldn't examine that.
mm, oh,
Examine it to see what's in there. What people don't understand is that in order for you to overcome some situations, you have to sacrifice. You have to make some sacrifices. You have to make some decisions that you don't want to make, but you want the results, so you have to make it. See, the period came the next month. She's much happier. The tummy has gone on quite a bit. The
mm,
fibroid is reduced tremendously. She's still on treatment, but she's much happier. You see, I told her, I said the second month is going to be a little less pain. Third month, maybe very little or none. You
mm,
know, so it's something that people have to understand that when these foreign matters get into your system, they just didn't walk in there. They didn't go in there and just say, okay, I'm going to sit in your uterus.
mm,
It came from what you ate that you absorbed into your system that you didn't get rid of. It's waste matter. It's parasites. It's fatty matter. It's tissue. It's blood. It's all sorts of clots.
mm.
You know, it's matter that is toxic that needs to come out, and it's going to take an effort. It's going to take some sacrifice. You're going to have to. You cannot. This is the other thing. There are people who expect to get results. They want to get rid of the cancer, but they don't want to get rid of what they did to get the cancer.
Oh, yeah.
See,
Mhm,
so people need to understand that you cannot expect to get good results when you're doing the bad things.
mm,
You can't expect to get rid of a condition that came as a result of what you did to yourself. It's not going to go if you don't change that.
yeah, lifestyle change. You got to change your lifestyle. Everything about your from your diet to your habits. You know, and that's hard. That's the hard thing. A lot of people don't want to sacrifice that. They don't want to sacrifice the chicken. They don't want to sacrifice the fish. They don't want to sacrifice anything. It's hard. But if you value, it depends on where you value your life and your health, and you'll do whatever it takes.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
So we're saying these things because persons out there need to understand that if you have hypertension, you can overcome your hypertension. As long as you weren't born with something, you can overcome it.
yeah, I believe that.
Whatever it is that caused you to get that hypertension is what you need to find out. What did I do, or what were the factors that contributed to my hypertension, and work on those factors, and you will overcome it. We've seen that happen to people all the time. Diabetes, the same thing.
Mhm.
If the organs are not damaged bad enough, and what people don't understand is that chemicals are destructive. Chemicals are destructive. When you take those chemical pills, I'm not saying that they have no purpose. There is a purpose.
Mhm.
They're there to maybe begin to control things in the beginning, but you don't want to live on those because those are going to have side effects.
Yeah,
And those side effects could be crucial,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
could lead to your kidney damage or kidney failure. Then you have to go to dialysis. You could damage your pancreas. You got to go to insulin. People don't understand, they don't understand that it is important that your foods are to be like your medicines and your medicines to be your foods.
Yeah, it's true. And it's a real saying, you know, it's a real saying. What we use to fuel our bodies is very, very important. You know, it happened in the car. I mean, if you were supposed to put high octane gas in the car, you put diesel or lead, it's not gonna work.
It can't work. It will get too far.
Yeah, you
We'll
know,
get too far. If you're lucky, you might hear a ping or a knock, and then all of a sudden it stops.
yeah,
It's a known fact that if you want to go somewhere, it's either you're gonna walk, ride, drive, or fly.
hmm
There's only those ways you're gonna get there, or
hmm
someone will take you. If someone is taking you, then they're gonna either do one or the other. They carry you on your back, on their backs, put you on the bicycle or motorcycle, put you in the car or vehicle, or they're gonna fly you there.
hmm
You can't want to go places in your life and expect to do the opposite. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You want to know why you're having lung cancer? Well, it could be a number of things, including not only smoking cigarettes, but you could be eating foods that are laden with smoke. Because what is happening is that you're not getting the nutrients from what you eat, but from what is absorbed from what you eat. So when you get those smoked barbecue chicken,
Oh,
holidays coming up, right? Big Christmas, Thanksgiving, all coming up.
yeah,
A lot of barbecue is going to happen. The first thing that happens to the barbecue meat, when you look at it on the grill, it becomes gray.
hmm
Why do you think it becomes gray? It becomes gray because of the smoke. The smoke gets into that meat.
yeah,
And then the second thing that happens is that you begin to see the liquid from the meat dropping onto the coal,
hmm
the blood or whatever the fluid is from the flesh dropping onto the coals, and then it burns back into the meat. That is very dangerous. That is where the cancer lies. People wonder why I'm getting lung cancer and I never smoke a cigarette.
or throat cancer and all different types of cancer.
Yes, stomach cancer,
Stuff
everything. How
bad,
are we getting that? Well,
bar-
consider what you're eating.
barbecuing. Yeah,
Consider what you're drinking.
true. You know, it's lifestyle, lifestyle, lifestyle. But it's important that we people need to know that there's always hope. You know, you might you might think you're in a hopeless situation, but there's always hope.
There's always hope. You just have to clean your act up.
Yeah, yeah.
Detoxify your system. Just keep doing it. Some people ask me, the doc, yeah, I still eat fish, and I want to know. I really don't want the worms, but what should I do? I'm not ready to come off the fish yet. What should I do? Well, if you're going to eat the fish, you're going to get the worms.
Yeah,
They come with the larva. You're going to get the worms, or they come with the worms. So you got to deworm.
Yeah.
Once a month or twice a month, you deworm. I asked them, how many times a week do you clean your house? How many times a year do you clean your house?
Mm.
Right? You walk in there with your shoes with the mud on it or whatever it is, and you wake your dirty clothes, you go in there, you're gonna clean the clothes, you're gonna clean the house. You take those things and you put them in your body the same way. You don't know what's inside. You clean that house too.
Mm.
Flush the body system out, detoxify, deworm, just like you do your house.
Detox, detox. So, so do things, get rid of impurities in your system.
Exactly, because those impurities are absorbed and become very dangerous in your body.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm wondering about the water in Guyana, though. I mean, uh, there's an excessive amount of mercury and lead and all sorts of things. I don't know what's going on.
I was going to get there, talking about the chemicals that we find.
Yeah.
Chemicals in the metals, lead,
Yeah.
mercury, cadmium, you know,
What's
the
happening?
toxins. Those are coming from water source. They're coming from rooftops. They're coming from farmers planting and using chemicals in the fields. So it is very difficult for the average person in Guyana to avoid those chemicals and toxins in the water or in the foods because it comes to the marketplace with them inside.
Wow.
And someone asked me yesterday, well, we get them, yeah, but we do wash them thoroughly. How can you wash the chemicals out of the vegetables?
No, but if the water, will they wash it with from water from where?
Well, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. You know, what are you gonna wash them with? You're gonna wash them with the water, then you're gonna put bleach on them, maybe, right? And then you're gonna what else you gonna do? You put in chemicals there again. You see? So I always say that it is important for you to plant your own garden.
Mm.
Plant your own garden. Plant your callaloo and your pak choy and your lettuce and your tomatoes and plant your vegetables. If you have the space, grow your own chickens. If you want to eat chicken, grow your own chicken. See, so it's there is there are solutions. There's solutions, but again, people are going to have to apply themselves. It's not going to come easy. To avoid to break down the levels of cancer that we have in our society, we have to get back to basics. We have to get back to basics because a lot of contamination is out there. A lot of parasites. When you talk about fish, the mercury in the ocean,
Mm.
chemicals are dumped in the ocean.
Yeah.
See, the fish is eating too. The fish is breathing,
Yeah. Drinking the water, doing everything.
drinking the water.
That's what they used to be able to breathe. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never really like fish and all that stuff. Anyway, I don't like the smell of it. But if I used to eat it, and from what I'm seeing, I'll stop. It's a
Right.
pandemic. I mean, epidemic. It doesn't matter where the people are coming from. And I'm like, I ask, what is it? I know it's the fish, but it's our diet. Too many. Every H part, I can close my eyes and open it and see certain things, and I know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and
H.
it's
pylori, H. pylori bacteria
yeah,
is rampant in our society.
too
Rampant,
much. And,
rampant.
and people excuse it because it's like they figure, well, okay, what is my stomach is burning, but it don't burn all the time, but it's what I ate yesterday.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. Need to get checked, and that stuff is like it's too much, and it's something else. But yeah, I mean, there's hope. People have got to realize there's hope, and you get diagnosed with cancer. Don't throw in. Don't give up. You know, don't give up. The same way it came, the same way it will go.
Yeah, because something would have happened that caused it.
Yeah,
And if the cells are not damaged or organs are not damaged to the point where they're unrepairable, irreparable, then there's hope.
yeah.
There's hope. And the formula that we're going to give out next week has to do with parasites and cancer.
Hmm.
And it's very simple. I want people to, I said it before, get your notepads and write and prepare to write next week. We're gonna, once we have the program and we're on live, we're gonna give it out and take some calls and so on. I think it's time that people begin to fight for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And when they need help, they can call us. They can come by the clinic. We'll guide them properly. I say this without hesitation or reservation. I really don't think that there's another clinic in Guyana that people can go to and get the kind of care that we give them. I don't think you're experiencing that now. I don't think so. Sometimes we harsh on them because they're stubborn. They don't want to do what it takes, but they want to get better. And they keep saying, "Well, I'm taking the medicine, it's not helping." Well, are you doing your part? Are you really doing your part? Well, I started it, but I didn't get no results. It looked like it, but nothing was happening. Well, how long did you have your problem? About
Yeah.
5 years or maybe more.
Ten a long time.
You think 5 minutes of healing is going to happen overnight?
Nope, don't work that way.
I wish I had the power to do that though.
But even though that, some people have had problems and, they come and say they've had it for 10 or 15 years. And then when they come back next time, it's gone.
Yes.
Like, really?
Yeah.
You know?
And they know it's gone because they feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think what's important, and all the people that I see, I try to tell them, look, if you're eating a certain way and it's causing you a problem, okay, we're telling you that you have to adopt a vegetarian lifestyle to get off of the meats and all that because of the H. pylori, for example. Then we start feeling good, and a lot of people it clicks. They say, "Well, I ain't going back there.
Yes.
I don't want to eat. I don't want to feel
Yep.
this. I don't want to feel that." You know.
Yeah.
So, avoid doctors. I mean, you get, you-
Yeah. I mean, look, there's so many people who are sick in the world. Today I go to New York. Why? There's so many people there. They've been tugging at me for the last 4 months. When are you coming? When are you coming? I just get tired. It's okay, I'm coming next week.
Mm,
So many people sick all over Canada. They called me from Canada yesterday. When are you going to come back to Toronto? St. Martin, when are you coming to St. Martin, Doc? It's finished. We're going to be lifting all this stuff in November. When are you coming? There's so many sick people in the world today. It's crazy. It's
yeah,
really gone crazy. So many sick people, and some people are tired of being sick.
yeah,
And we have institutions there, and they go, but sometimes they don't have the answers.
yeah. And the numbers are too much. I mean, they're overwhelmed. I mean, the hospital. I mean, there are too many people. They can't spend quality time with one person.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the institution is good. I mean, they have emergencies, it's good to go, but they're overwhelmed, I feel, and not only there, here too, in America. And people have to start taking responsibility for them, you know.
They need to stop digging their graves with their teeth and eating themselves into their graves.
Yeah, it's food. It's true.
Let your foods be your medicines and your medicines be your food.
It's true.
It's a true thing. See, so as much as we have our facility there in Kitty and we are out trying to do our best. By the way, if you want to get there, you can call 231-6477, schedule your time. And I need to mention that Christmas is coming again. December is right around the corner. And the clinic normally closes for a break in December also. And it will be closed, I think, on the 19th of December for, I think it's 3 weeks.
Is it the 16th or the 19th?
It's one or the other. It's sometime in that week, the
It's-
16th or the 19th.
Okay.
It's going to be closed that week. And persons need to be aware that they need to, get themselves looked at if they want to get looked at or pick up whatever it is they need because it's going to be closed for a while. and we have to get rest too. We have to get some break, to get some rest, to be able to recover, come back, because a lot of long hours, a lot of long hours. So I just had to put that out there. And then we have the Christmas tree light up in Linden, where we give away toys and foods and so to kids, over 500 children or more.
That's nice.
We do it once a year. We had stopped it for the coronavirus thing, the break there, but we're going to have it started back again this year. So
Wow.
we're going to be doing that in December. I think it's on December 10th at
You,
Linden at the mall.
you televise that too?
Yeah, it shows on the television. Yeah, yeah, it
Oh,
shows on the
that's
television.
interesting. Yeah, that's nice.
Yep, Channel 2 will carry it. Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah. So we do our part as much as we can to give back to society and
Mm.
give hope. We give hope to people in all kinds of ways, and they expect us to do it. People expect that when they come there, we will give them hope and we will fight for them and all that. But
Yeah,
once again, they have to help us to help them.
yeah, yeah.
See, so well, Dr. Richard, I want to thank you again for being on the program. I see that the time is already up. I don't know if the operator is going to give us any more time, but it's already an hour. Based on what I'm looking at, it's nearly an hour. I want you to say anything that you want to say before we get up here.
Well, like all honor and glory goes to the Lord. I mean, I'm liking what I'm doing and enjoying being of help to others. And it's a special blessing to be able to hear from people that they've gone many different places and they come to the clinic and they're able to get help. And that really validates the purpose of what the clinic is for.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
blessing.
Yeah, they're asking us to open a hospital and provide facilities for people to stay, right, all the right foods. It's not that easy. It's not that easy.
Uh, uh,
To find to find people who are committed the way we committed, it's not that easy.
yeah,
We have Oliver and we have Joy
yeah,
and Fiona. Those were committed people there.
yeah, yeah,
They were committed to the cause. Joy and Oliver is there. Fiona is no longer there. Continue to do our part. And
yeah,
the television station also helps us with providing our information. We can hear that they're having some issues still. They help us to pass the message on, and we appreciate them. Appreciate the operator Dale and Miss Adams. They've been very helpful. And
yes,
Auntie Liz, I call Auntie Liz, the owner of the station, and Kevin. They all have been very nice to us and helping us to get this message out.
yeah.
So, on
Give,
behalf of, you saying something? Go ahead.
give back. We give back. This Guyana is where we're from, and we always were taught to help, to leave situations better than how you found them,
Oh yeah,
to help people in every at whatever cost. Help. So glad we were able to do that, and people recognize it. And
yeah.
the blessing.
Well, the other thing that I see happening a lot too is that we have our siblings, our children. Many of them are medical.
Yeah,
Family, we have a lot of medical, and we can actually open a hospital. There's so many,
yeah,
we got from psychologists to neurosurgeons and
yeah,
nurses. We have the whole gamut. Nutritionists, we have them all there. So who
yeah,
knows? Maybe at some point later, uh, whoever is wishing will get their wish.
yeah. It's not an easy venture, but it's possible.
It's possible. Possible.
If
Anyway,
yeah,
I want to thank you all for participating. We promise you that we're going to take calls the next time. Once we're on live, we're going to take some calls, and everything will go where it needs to go so we can answer your questions. But save your questions until we get to that point. And hopefully it'll be next Thursday. We want to thank you for participating, for looking on, and for being a part of our program. Until next time, Dr. Insane. Thank you, Dr. Richard. God bless you. So long. Have a wonderful rest of the evening.
all right.